Right, so after 2 months of solid playing, it's time for me to give you my thoughts and review on Assassin's Creed 3. The reason it's come so late for is purely because I've been playing it non-stop and I wanted to complete it and play as much as the game as I could before I gave you my review. That's why it's taken so long. But I have completed it now. All I've got left to do on the game is a few side missions and collectibles and stuff like that. But I've played the majority of the game as much as I could. I've put, I think, about 35 hours into the game. So yeah, I'm at a strong point now where I can give you my review. So to kick it off with the storyline, I very much enjoyed the story of this game. Connor was the new assassin, and a very brief plot is Connor's little village. He's a Native American, so he lives in the village in the frontier. His family and friends all live in this small village, but it's going to be taken over by the Templars soon, so he plots to kind of stop this from happening. But then, as that's the very brief kind of beginning of the storyline, and then it branches out into kind of a much deeper storyline involving, as you know, the whole story of Assassin's Creed is the Assassins versus the Templars. So yeah, that branches off into a much bigger storyline, and it intertwines with the American Revolution and everything like that, and the war against the British and everything. So yeah, it gets into a very deep storyline, and I thought it was very good. I think it's a much better storyline that we can relate to compared to the other Assassin's Creed games, purely because it's a bit more modern, and it's a bit more, we know a bit more about this kind of era, and it's a bit kind of closer to us. Me being a British person, obviously it's interesting for me to see what effects the British had in America in the 1700s and during the Revolution. And also, if you are American, it's kind of good to have an American themed Assassin's Creed game as well, because obviously they've all been based around Italy, and the very first one in Jerusalem and all that. So it's very good to have a game that we can relate to a bit more, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's, like I said, I think it's the best storyline out of an Assassin's Creed game that we've had. I won't talk about Desmond's storyline too much because that delves into spoilers, and I can save that for another video, but what I will say is the ending of the game. I personally enjoyed the ending, and I do think, I'm not going to say it, I'm 100% sure that there will be more Assassin's Creed games involving this current Desmond storyline, but that's all I'm going to say. The gameplay was fantastic in the game. It's the best gameplay to date. They've upped their game a bit, Ubisoft, there, because Assassin's Creed 1 all the way through to Revelations was very similar in kind of running mechanics, the free running, the combat, but they did revamp it for Assassin's Creed 3. The free running and kind of climbing and everything like that is much more fluid. It's much more realistic. Climbing through the trees and everything, because the trees and woodland and everything like that is a strong focus in Assassin's Creed 3. So instead of climbing buildings, you're climbing trees the majority of the time. And that worked very, very well. I thought it looked very realistic and fluid and everything like that. Each branch that was poking off a tree, Connor could get a hand to it, so that was really good to see. There was a few bugs and glitches in the game, which does bring it down a little bit. Mainly in the cutscenes that I found, that the dialogue didn't fit the lips moving on the characters at all. I thought it was very off and very out the majority of the time. That did distract me in some of the more important cutscenes of the game. That's not going to kind of take it down too much, because I know it's not an actual part of the game that's bringing that down. It's something that can be fixed, and hopefully Ubisoft do fix one day. But yeah, I know it is a known fact that a lot of people do think this game is the buggiest and glitchiest of the Assassin's Creed games, but like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it still. The characters in the game are very good. There's lots of well-known historical figures in the game, such as George Washington. I can't even remember now. There's loads more you will recognise from your school history lessons. And it's very good to kind of see what life was like for these historical figures back in this time of the revolution and everything like that, because obviously we've got a brief understanding of it from our own mind and from our own education and stuff, but to actually play in this era is brilliant. And that's what I love the Assassin's Creed games for, because for me it's like a history lesson. It gives me an insight into what life was like back in those days, and I can't get enough of it. I thoroughly love the Assassin's Creed games. I think Connor is a very good assassin. I don't think he's as good as Ezio, and I think partly that's only because we haven't played as much as Connor yet. Maybe there's going to be future Connor games, I don't know. But we got 3 Ezio games, and that's part of the reason why I think Ezio is still my favourite at the moment. But I don't know, there was just something about Ezio that suited an assassin more, whereas Connor, he doesn't really suit to be part of an assassin. He looks like a lone wolf, which does actually tie in with his lifestyle, because he was a Native American, like a hunter in the woods. He looks like he works best on his own, and I think, I don't know, I didn't really get a sense that he was part of the assassins as I was playing this game. I felt that he was just on his own. He wasn't in the Brotherhood. That's all I felt. That's only my personal opinion, but I personally related more to Ezio than I did to Connor. That's not to say Connor's a bad character at all. I thoroughly enjoyed his storyline. I wanted to continue the game to see what happened to Connor and what happened in his missions and everything like that. So yeah, it was enjoyable, but like I said, I don't think it was up there with Ezio as the best assassin that we've played as. For the future of Assassin's Creed, I do think we're going to be getting a lot more games based around this Desmond storyline. Again, I'm not going to say what happens at the end or anything, but I do think we've got a lot more to come before we get to the end of this whole storyline, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. A lot of people think the yearly releases are being a bit milked, but I don't. I think I look forward to the Assassin's Creed games every year. I think it's very unique. Like I said, it's how many games have you played as where you've got to run around in the American Revolution taking out British people? I know it's something I've never done in a game, and I really loved it. So yeah, I'm thoroughly looking forward to more Assassin's Creed. To say if it's my favourite one, I don't know. I think it's definitely the top 2, and the top 2 are this one, Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and I literally can't decide between the two which one's my favourite. Brotherhood has always been my favourite of the Ezio stories, and I don't know why. I think I loved Rome and the whole setting of it. I loved the missions in that game. I loved the whole Colosseum and everything like that. But the reason Assassin's Creed 3 is up there is because it's so different. It took a very risky leap in a different direction for the Assassin's Creed series by taking away the buildings and everything and making the setting more of a woodland forest theme, and bringing it to a time that we know a lot more about with the American Revolution, and I think it worked very well, and so that's why it's up there. I literally can't decide between the two. Maybe if I give them another playthrough one day I'll be able to decide, but yeah, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed 3 literally on par at the moment for me. So yeah, Assassin's Creed 3, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, a big 9 out of 10, and that would be converted to a 10 if they iron out those bugs and glitches, because like I said, it's very distracting, especially in the cutscenes, and it takes me away from the moment in the game, which is very annoying. So if they take those out, it will be a very, very good game, and it's definitely for me the game of the year 2012. I don't know, actually, I'll do another video of my games of the year soon once I've played a few of the more recent games. But yeah, Assassin's Creed 3, I'll give it a 9 out of 10, and I definitely recommend it. So thanks for watching this review, and I'll see you in my next video.